What up, though? It's your boy, Kamal Lukata, and I am the host of the Kamal Lukata Show. And today, we will be kicking it about the verdict for the Philando Castille shooting trial. What's up, listeners? What's up, FB? What's up, Detroit? What's up, New Orleans? What's up, Chicago? What's up, Atlanta? What's up, Seattle? What's up, New York? What's up, Divas Den? What's up, Lady Epiphany? My girl, Lady Epiphany. What's going on, Unique Queen? What up, though, to all my peoples out there? And today is a special episode where we just gonna kick it and give a little commentary on this situation regarding the Philando Castille shooting. Okay, for those who may or may not be familiar, Philando Castille was an African American man who was shot to death by a police officer in Minnesota, and his girlfriend, who was in the car with him, along with his daughter, witnessed the shooting. Not only that, but his girlfriend, she actually went on Facebook Live and pretty much displayed the whole situation for all of Facebook to see. So, just a few days ago, the verdict came out on the officer that committed the murder, and he was found not guilty. Am I surprised? No. Should you be surprised? No. Nearly every single situation that has gone on in the last few years where an African American has been murdered by a police officer, each time the officers has been acquitted. Okay, we live in a country where African Americans were lynched on the regular. Okay, terrorized and lynched on the regular since slavery days, and all the way up until if you go all the way to the 60s from slavery time, it's probably been in hundreds of thousands of lynchings, reported and unreported. Okay. I think it was 1983 when the first time that the first time that a white person or a Ku Klux, it was something about a Ku Klux Klan member had lynched a black man in Alabama, and I think this was 1983. I have to get my information correct. I hate giving out wrong information, but I'm just speculating on what I've read before, which has been such a long time ago. But in about 1983, it was the first time that a white person lynched a black person and was actually convicted for it. Okay, that's, but that tells you what kind of country we live in. Don't get me wrong, there's some good things about America, but at the same time, America is still founded on a basis that has always put black people second. I don't care how far along we may have seemed to come, but we as a people are still considered second-class citizens. Okay. The thing about it, let's just go back and review. Now, recently, yesterday I think it was, the dash cam footage, the dash cam footage was released in regards to the Philando Castille case, and it showed even more how unjustified his murder was. Okay, number one, the officer followed him for so long, okay, and pulled him over for what I think was a busted tail light. What I gather from that is racial profiling. And living in Michigan, which a lot of people don't realize, this is one of the most racist. This is one of the most racist states in the country. Okay, and I'm not just saying that, but I have experienced racism, and I'm talking more in terms of the institutionalized racism and the racism amongst the law enforcement. Okay, but I have been harassed in several suburbs around the Detroit area, such as Taylor, Dearborn, Roseville, Warren, Livonia, Redford. It goes on and on. But Philando Castille, in my opinion, was racially profiled in the first place. He was pulled over. The officer approached him and asked him to hand over his driver's license and his proof of insurance, and he did as he was asked, and he handed the officer all of that information through a cracked window. Now, he was armed. Philando Castille was armed, but the thing was, he was illegally armed. Okay, he had a permit for his gun. He informed the officer, I just want to let you know that I have a weapon on me. I have a gun on me, but I have a permit for it. And the officer immediately went into, a defense mode and just went crazy, and just he pretty much, that's when he just started unloading on Mr. Castille in front of his girlfriend and in front of his baby daughter. Okay, he shot through the window 7 times, supposedly in fear of his life. No one is saying why he was in fear of his life. This officer's name is, if I'm correct, Geronimo Yanis or Geronimo Yanis. It's spelled with a G. It's Geronimo. Okay, I don't know if this gentleman was Hispanic or Caucasian. Okay, he looks Hispanic on his pictures, but I don't know. He may be Caucasian. But the bottom line is, once again, not only is another black man murdered by police, but the officer that murdered him, it has been acquitted. The jury that acquitted him apparently feels that it is okay for an officer to kill a black man without justification, without provocation. Okay. What I have to say about that is this. This has been going on for so long that we as black people, we got to find a different approach to how we fix this problem. Okay, we have rioted, we have marched, we have protested, we done talked, we done did everything we can. Okay, but apparently people still don't feel like Black Lives Matter. Okay, Black Lives matter a whole lot. Okay, and if it doesn't matter to us, then it doesn't matter to anybody else. And apparently some of these law enforcement agencies across the country don't feel like it is our Black lives do matter. Okay, Well, first of all, what we got to do as a people, it's time for us to start going down to the people that's representing us in Congress, the people that are in Senate. We got to go to these legislators and force them to do what we voted them to do. Or I always say that we hired them to do, because if I vote for you, that means I hired you. That means I'm your boss. Flat out. You don't just represent me. I'm your boss. Okay. And I need you to do your job. Okay. We need these Congress people and these senators to get on top of making laws and bringing laws to the table and bills to the table that will help to decrease the excessive force that is used by police officers across the country. These officers and some of these police agencies need some real serious training. Okay. And I think that when an officer joins a police force, there should be an extensive training procedure in terms of how you deal with the people that you are serving and how you deal with people in stressful situations where you may or may not need to pull your weapon out and you may or may not need to use your weapon. Okay. There needs to be training in situations where deadly force is deemed necessary or not. Apparently, either that is not in place right now, or these officers are just pretty much you just got rogue cops who are doing what they want to do. Okay. The other thing is we need stronger penalties against officers who commit these unjustified murders. Okay. We need better laws in place so that this doesn't continue to go on and on, because apparently the example has not been set in terms of showing these officers that you will have to pay a major penalty or price for murdering anybody unjustly. Okay. So we as African Americans, we're going to have to get out here and do the job ourselves. Okay. Get at your Congress or your Senate. This year is the year that, the Congress, I think Congress and Senate, is up for, election this year. So find out who's running for election and who is already, who are the incumbents, and put the right people in place. And whoever is in place, if, get on top of them right now, because that's the way that things are going to be able to change. We as African Americans got to start getting involved, much more involved with the political process and the process of what's going on in this country, so that we can franchise ourselves, stop being disenfranchised by staying outside of the process. You know what I'm saying? So we got to make demands on these elected officials to let them know that, we want what we voted for. When we put you in office, we want what we vote for. We already got a president in office that is definitely not on our side. Okay. But we got legislators that we can go to. We got representatives, state representatives, U.S. House of Representatives, or Congress people, as they would call them, and Senates, U.S. Senates and state Senates. Okay. So find out who's in those positions, and let's get with them. The other thing is, also, we want to, pretty much as black people, understand that there are power in numbers. Okay. You got people in your household. If it's 5 or 6 of y'all in your household, that's a small franchise right there. Okay. If you got 100 people on your block, 50 people on your block, that's a small nation, not just a community, a nation. And we as a people have to learn the power of exponential revolution. That's coming from the mouth of Lukata right there. Exponential revolution. It's the power in numbers. Okay. You cannot beat an outnumbered people. Okay. Only way to beat an outnumbered people is to outthink them. Okay. So we as a people have to use the power in our numbers, and we have to start thinking and being intelligent. Okay. Stop putting each other down and start working with each other, because we all in the same boat. I don't care. You look at your neighbor or you look at your family member or your friends and you say, oh, this person, they ain't doing as good as me, or they ain't. Man, listen, you still are black. You still are right now. You may be living in Detroit. You may be living in wherever you living at. You still considered a black person, and you still are to them a second-class citizen. You can still get your ass whooped by police. You can still get your ass shot and killed by police. Okay. Now, shout out to the Detroit Police Department, because, Detroit Police Department is one of the best police departments in the country. It's a majority African-American, and they do a great job of service in the community. But outside of Detroit, most of these police departments across the country are real, basically really racist, and they don't care about the minority communities that they supposed to serve. So we as a people have to come together and find a way to make them those who serve us responsible for serving us. Okay. That's pretty much it on my commentary for Mr. Castille. I send my prayers out to his family and his girlfriend and his daughter, his mom, all of his family. The brother was out trying to have a good afternoon with his girlfriend and daughter. There's nothing better in the world than being able to spend time with your woman and your kids, and then you end up dead, So I just want all of us to get together and just find ways to make a difference in this community. Once again, this is your boy, Kamal Lukata, and I am here kicking that real deal. And let's all get together and let's all make some things happen. Let's make some changes. Okay, let's get some unity in the community. Detroit, let's stand up. Let's stop fighting and killing one another. Let's stop the violence. Also, shout out to my boy John Williams with the Save Detroit movement. And once again, check out Diva's Den with Lady Epiphany and Unique Queen on YouTube. Okay, the best talk show on the web. All right, this is your boy Kamal Lukata, and I am checking out.